YouTube, it is time for the top 8 grand finale and top deck list. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos, even though I know the meta is not so fun, but at least we have at least one non-Ryzeal, non-Maliss deck at the top. It is a Centurion deck. Centurion, main deck in the Metaltronus, which can super out a detonator, banishing it face down. They can't chain to it, they can't pop themselves to then put in the grave to then reborn with plug-in. And by being face down banished, the plug-in does not interact with it. That is insane. And they're gonna have to also play around a maxi and double impermanence. That's right, you're now gonna be cheering for the C as we have no way to stop thee. Are you ready for the top 8? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Maxi in the draw phase. Got him. Yeah, I'm going to end. I have Imperm, Maxi, and Valor. And of course, we top deck into a Primera. Primera is going to, on summon, search our deck for nothing as the Valor negates, unless we call by the grave, finger the Valor, and then we have Impermanence on top of the call by the grave. Negate the Primera mate. Now, I think this is healthy and good use of non-engine. If you have nothing on the field, all of them being activatable and helping you make it to the next turn, that is great. So if you brick turn 1, you should be incentivized to put nothing on the field similar to the Mulcharmies to make plays. Ooh, we got that Metaltronus plus double Imperm ready. We're going to be Imperm in that for sure. Negate the Ice Ryzeal's effective summoning from the deck. We have another Impermanence. The 7th Tachyon's going to return the node on top of the deck as we search our deck for the X Ryzeal. X, say goodbye to the node. Special summon by sending the Aggregator. Aggregator's just going to chain link higher to negate the Primera. We're waiting on that Metaltronus. Imperm, negate the X Ryzeal. Now, in order to use Metaltronus, ideally you're summoning the same monster name, so you get the secondary effect of banishing the monster face down. In addition, woo, that worked. Thanks for not summoning Duo Drive, because I don't play Duo Drive in my extra deck. I just play the Detonator, and now you're going to be negated and banished face down. Holy moly. Let's go. Why not just use it? Keep Primera on field? Like, we're just going to... Why save it? What is the benefit of saving this? Why not just use it? They can't respond to it. Like you target it, the monster cannot be activated in response. No monster activate, it's just banish face down. We now do it, okay. We have a secondary benefit here. Decade, I did not want to banish if I could just summon it and not banish, just leave it on the field. Now, even while we're negated, we could still detach the Aggregator to negate a card, but we have high pressure to deal with this Detonator. Little Knight is going to banish it away. Okay, sure. Now we have a Little Knight. So that was in fact better. That did work out. All right, Plu, I apologize to you. That worked out. Node off the top of the deck, which we put it there. It wasn't shuffled. To the top, we knew we would draw it, as we now have an Emblema Oath off the top of the deck for a Primera. Primera summon, searching our deck for the Trudea. Trudea normal summon, put a Gargoyle into the back row, summon the Gargoyle from the back row, and just like that, we have 5,200 damage, not enough for game. Are we playing Fiendsmith to burn for game with the Lacrima? We are not. We have the Auxilia activating to search our deck, chain link block with the Gargoyle, which is why you pretty much have to use your Ash on the Primera if you can. Otherwise, they're just going to get blocked up, as you see here. As we're now searching for the stand-up Centurion, where we initially did not have a card to discard, we now do thanks to the Gargoyle adding back, setting up an Attrine to the back row as we further set up a Gargoyle. Our forms of disruption are Little Knight Chain Banish. We could also perform an Xyz summon, I should say Synchro summon with what we summon from the back row. And with the node with now a star, we could use node to send star to reborn unless they stop it. We're gonna first summon the star. We can special summon the node. A try, not drawing into a hand trap, perform the summon effect of the field spell into the Crimson Dragon. Gargoyle add back. Crimson Dragon is gonna perform our Synchro summon into the Blazar Dragon, the Super Negator. Your opponent would summon the node. Just the act of summoning node would get negated completely. Let's first take out the Little Knight. And now, As I said, negate your whole summon. Didn't even happen. With just Star, we are scooping it up. Well done to Centurion with the help of Metaltronus, not even using its banish face down effect, using it to help make a Little Knight instead, taking a game 1 victory. Turn 1 pass to ensure the Fool Loss will be activatable alongside our Imperm and Veiler. We have Stand Up for Centurion as we discard a Stand Up to put into the back row our Primera. As we normally summon the Trudea, we're going to Veiler, negate the Trudea. Not today, mate. We could then special summon the Primera alongside it. Will we also Imperm negate that? We are going to Baldrake, banish away the Veiler, as we also, in addition to that, summon our Primera, activating. We're going to chain Imperm to negate the Primera. Can you chain the field spell to dodge the negate? Ain't no way unless you're playing at a TCG Locals. You'd have to initiate the trigger first, and then they could chain Impermanence. That is going to be a negate, but you could use the field spell to dodge in Ash Blossom. You could chain link block it. Let's Fool Loss before they potentially touch the extra deck. Well, I will choose to not touch the extra deck, at least for now. 5,100 damage to the face. The fear is real. They bricked turn 1. If I give them a single draw when they play 12 one-card starters, potentially even more, why would I want to do that? We know that we could hold our Veiler or Imperm for whatever their one card could be off the top of their deck instead. What's it going to be? Really? T set? More like an L set. Let's finish the Fool. Trudea into the back row. Gargoyle, come forth and summon as we now turn this into the Primus. Primus has to get negated or it's going to pop 2 cards on the field. Of course, we're going to negate. We are going to be also negated on the Trudea, trying to summon from the back row as we add back our Gargoyle. For sure, we could still win this turn. Let's do it. Normal summon a Maxi, going into a Baron to floor. You what, mate? Maxi and Primus and the Baron. Take away that effect, Veiler. 5,500 damage, and just like that, Centurion advancing to the top 4. Damn. Yeah, you could give your suggestions in chat. 7 Tachyon to our hand. Pot of D, banish 10 off the top of the deck. 4, good. It's gone from the game. We can't Ryzeal Cross. Imagine if Cross were banned. Your deck would suck, right? Well, let's find out what happens when you have access to no Cross. We're going to put Star back on top of the deck, ending our turn because of Maxi. That's what it'd be doing. Now, we have Maxi and Fool Loss. I would throw out the Fool Loss first, hoping that they Ash or Finger it, and then we activate Maxi in response to the Finger or Ash. And that's exactly what we're doing. Let them Finger your Fua to protect your Maxi. Add the C, chain the March Hare to the Maxi to ensure we get at least 1 special summon, but without giving them a draw here. You have to understand with Maliss, we just have to make a Cryptor boosted by Dormouse, which it is boosted, and that alone is game. We already used up a normal summon, and we have not triggered the effect of Dormouse to special summon. So the option here is they get to draw 2 more cards, but then we have 8,000 damage. Is it worth it? Well, I mean, if we return the Dormouse back to the banish, then we don't have a card that's banished for the Cryptor. So it does actually become a bit more complicated than that. You need the Cryptor plus a card that is already banished, or you need a trap to banish the Cryptor. We are committing to at least another special summon. We are making a Link Decoder. Further going into the Red Ransom. Oh my cheese, this is a lot more special summoning than I suspected. Looks like we're going for an Apollo play. At least this is turn 2. This is not a turn 1 Maxi challenge. We are grabbing the Maliss and Underground. Let's not even make the Apollo yet. Let's banish the White Rabbit, summon itself onto the field. 5,000 attacks, set into the back row, the GWC. To battle we go, and this is enough for game. We're going to be able to banish the Red Ransom, reborn it back onto the field as we summon another monster, as the Red Ransom is coming out itself. Now, before even seeing the two newly drawn cards we would have drawn into, we're scooping. We know that if we were drawn to a Nibiru, if we're playing that, it's not activatable in the battle phase. There was no other hand traps usable within the battle phase that could have stopped off the two other lethal attacks. Nicely done, Brian, taking that Max Seed challenge for game. Both players on Nibiru. As we special summon the Ryzeal, searching for the node, special the sword. Let's speed this up. As we now go into the Ryzeal detonator, now the impulse can be instead used on a plugin. It can be used on a Nibiru. It can be used on the Plasma Hole trying to exceed during the next turn. We have the ability to quadra negate with the detonator alone. We could not negate but pop, and then with one of them being a negate, we had the plugin which could pop again. We could pop again with Plasma, then pop again, and we have about 7 forms of disruption plus Nibiru, making it 8. Believe it, mate. Now, the detonator is untargetable. We're gonna shift her, so any card sent to the grave is banished instead. Chessie negates by detaching. Since we shifted, we now don't get the aggregated negates. We now drop down to 6. As we're going to pop away the Typhon, attach onto the monster, still scoop it up. Too many pops. The trap and plugin give the detonator additional pops. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Let's hop into game number 3. Ryzeal versus Maliss. What do we have here? We're going to get Artifact Lancia in the draw phase. Ain't no way. We do have Call by the Grave to finger that Lancia. Not today. And what I wanted to bring up here real quick, I'm not going to do this too many times, but the analytics from the World Championship, Maliss with that 80% win chance going first with a way to negate that Lancia. So for sure we have this duel, yes? Negate Lancia. We had another option here. I keep talking about protecting your C with your Ash, with your other cards. How about protect your Lancia with your Fualos? You Fualos, they finger Fualos, you chain Lancia to the Call by the Grave, and then your Fua goes through, your Lancia goes through, and then you just win the duel, I would suspect, right? Instead, we use Lancia to protect our Fualos. 80% Almeo. Yeah, Konami, you're getting Almeo dat. So let's do something about that tonight, yes? Dormouse, banish the March Hare, add back to the hand here. We're gonna activate the Fualos before he links off into a Link Decoder. Let's Mouse the Underground, banish in the deck our Chessie. Chessie, Reborn, banish March Hare, draw 2, Shifter is dead. We don't want to commit onto the Fualos. We're going to hit them with the Max C. You have nothing to stop thee. We have Imperm and Impulse, double disruption. We're going to Imperm, negate the effect of someone from the deck, which now gives the Impulse the additional ability to destroy whatever it negates. Tachyon is going to be searching for a card that could not be destroyed or negated by Impulse. That's an inherent special summon. It's no good. You could Impulse the Ice summoning from the deck. You could Impulse negate the Node reborning from Engrave. We're going to take out the Chessie, say goodbye to the Dormouse as we now MP2. This increases the chance of the back row Mouse and Mirror not being activatable if it were a Mouse and Mirror. Now, of course, they could have a Mouse in hand, but as you can see, they don't. Max C, draw 1. We're just going to commit to that detonator, then pass very likely. And what I've been saying earlier among other duels is if Baguska were that great against Maliss, of course we would have summoned a Baguska instead. Baguska is mainly for the mirror match, thus when you're scouting or have that extra information like you do in Worlds, you know to just make Baguska instead. But you're not going to have the ability to do so randomly on the ladder. 1 Impulse, 1 Imperm. Let's get to it. Let's chain link block the Ryzeal from an Ash, but the Imperm does not care about the chain link block. The detonator, do you think detonator will pop the Ryzeal to dodge the impermanence? Maybe. Or pop a card in the field. It's gonna pop a card in the field instead. We don't care that we're getting negated. We have the normal summon Ice Ryzeal. We're happy to see that Impulse got destroyed because now we think we could safely normal summon the Ice, not knowing there's another Impulse. We didn't even. No, we normal summoned the Fualos instead. Mate. We didn't use Ice this turn. We're just gonna use the special summon effect. Okay. Activate Ryzeal Cross, special summon the sword, which you can't Impulse, grab the Star Ryzeal, and we are going to the battle phase with 7,000 damage, which is enough for lethal. Damn. 80% win rate and we lost. How did that happen? Our favorite matchup is back. Let's speed on through this. Next week's Meta Weekly is going to be with the ban list, which is going to reduce the chance of this happening for sure. Normal ice, summon star, set, cross, activate, special, sword, search for the X Ryzeal. Droll and Lockbird, no more adding for you, but I have everything I want already in my hand. We're going to negate the Lingering Rebo, then make a detonator. Detonator on summon is going to attach the aggregate from engrave. Maliss going first, their 80% win rate from Worlds is again failing. Why is Maliss so bad? What are you guys doing? Castell is now here as we go into the Utopic. Ray Lancer with the double attack. 5,000 damage from the Ray Lancer. 6,000 on the detonator from the Dugaris. Block the attack with the GWC. I don't think so. 2K to the face as we plug in Reborn onto the field for game. Yeah, that thing can attack for some reason after being reborn with plugin, but plugin does have an attack restriction, and that is the non-Xyz monsters are not able to attack. That is whack. Let's hop into game 2. Fualos in the draw phase. Call by the Grave, finger the Fua. See, if we had Lancia, if they're fingering Fua, we have Lancia, chain Lancia to this. They would then have cross out designate. A lot of people want to know, what is a good White Rabbit one-card combo? It is ideal with TB11, but with many people taking out TB11, what do you do without TB11? You set MTP. Let's banish the White Rabbit, grab a March Hare. The combo is on the site here. You could just check it out. Click on the Maliss breakdown. So White Rabbit with no TB11. So banish MTP to summon. We could make Splash Mage, Reborn. We could then get Nibiru'd. Get Nibiru'd. Okay, we got Nibiru'd. Let's set Impulse. And we have our own Nibiru. Impulse, negate. The Ice Ryzeal mate. No trap engrave, no destruction. As we now see. Are you going to play into a Nibiru? There's no way. Ryzeal plays really well against Nibiru potentially being there. As we now make our duo drive, we're on summon number 3. Come to me, the cross. We have no Xyz material under the duo drive, as we're now playing into a Nibiru. How did this happen? Nibiru is being played into. Yup. Bro, on resolution, you get nibbed. How? 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 Wipe the field. That went wrong. Now, off the top of our deck, we rip into a Magnum Hut. This is a Lizard Dose play. You get 2 bodies, you banish the White Rabbit from engrave, or banish the March Hare, then we are back. Let's finger the March Hare. Let's cross out designate, negate the finger. Now, you may be led to believe that Imperm will stop the Lizard Dose. If we're playing Lizard Dose, it will be banishing by cost. We got the Lizard. The Lizard is here. Are you ready? Magnum Hut is going to, just banishing the March Hare means we don't have to actually go into the Lizard Dose, but if we were forcing the Lizard Dose, that would be the play. March Hare, banishing the White Rabbit here. Come back onto the field. What's important to note that if the Magnum Hut was not a Magnum Hut, it was just, let's say, a Fualos, you normal summon it, then you make the Lizard Dose play. Let's turn all 3 bodies into the Cryptor. Cryptor alongside Nibiru. Link Decoders, going to be reborning back. We're going to non-target banish with the Cryptor. You don't imperm this. It does nothing. It cannot be negated by imperm because it's pointing to the Nibiru. Access the codes. Boost. Nibiru plus access code is over 8,000 damage. We have Lancia, but it's against the wrong deck. Brick Ryzeal has bricked more than once today. What is going on? They have more one-card starters than Maliss. They should, in theory, be more consistent. And they could even play the 7th Ascensions to make their deck even more consistent. Arguably, it then is too consistent, which it goes into the trend of making the deck actually worse, where it would be better to have just more non-engine. We're going to be chaining the Lancia. It happened. We protected the Lancia with the Maxi instead of the other way around. As we should. As we now smack them for 15. Can't chain the Bystials to any of these plays if there were anything to banish in the graveyard because they have no monster in the field. Otherwise, it's not a quick effect. Let's see what is good with just Linger Rebo to pin down the Plasma Hole, also banishing it if it activates. We have the Sword searching for the X Ryzeal. X, going to give it to you, grab the node as we now further go into our Duo Drive. Duo Drive on summon's going to attach a Ryzeal from Engrave. We have the Cross. It is not able to negate the Druid Swarm yet. You activate all your monster effects right here, right now, before it resolves. We're going to banish away the Chessie. Chessie will now get negated, which means we would had want to do this before the Cross was randomly activated from the hand, but how can you predict that the Cross is randomly from the hand? We chose to not negate. We're holding on to it, mate. Lancia, so that you could not banish, but I'm not banishing. Okay, sure. You tried to trick me, not going to work. Let's further go into a Castel. Castel's going to return a face-up card back into the deck you go. Thus, the Druid Swarm won't trigger Engrave to send a special summon monster to the graveyard. Let's further go into the Detonator. We have the Utopic Ray Lancer play ready. As we attach, get rid of the Called By, special summon the Ice. Let's go into the Utopic Ray. Utopic Ray is here. Trigger the effect. We do have to attack red again in a row with that, as we do. And just like that, lethal damage for Ryzeal. Despite Ryzeal bricking on the very first turn, still wins it all. 2-1 victory. Standby phase, Fua lost, didn't even try to finger it, no cross out. Lancia going right through, just like that. White Rabbit is going to set from the deck and then end their turn. Dead, dead, dead. Triple dead card. We have an Impulse, which is our only form of disruption. Wedge Temple, put a monster from the hand and a monster from the deck into the back row. We're going to be searching for a Dormouse. That does not banish. What are you doing? We're going to Senjin, attempt to summon for the back row. Impulse is going to negate. And now our single one form of disruption with no other way to disrupt is gone. Let's do this. Ovi, you have to win. I almost called you Ovi Raptor. Tracked, searching for the Crimson Tear. Send the Tear because the Lurie's in our back row. Return back the Crimson Tear, reborn the Engraver into the Requiem. Requiem is going to summon from the deck our Engraver, equip onto the Engraver, send the 2 back row for the Doom Dragon, push back the White Rabbit as we now make a Sequence. Sequence is going to be fusing the graveyard into our Fiendsmith Lacrima, reborn, engrave our Engraver, turning our 3 bodies into an Apollo USA, trigger Lacrima, burn for 1200 damage, Air Lifter, grabbing emergency, summon from the deck a Hydrant, send a Lifter, Hydrant activates, searching for the Turbulence, banish 2 cards engraved to summon our 3000 attack Turbulence, set up to 4 cards in the back row with only one of them being activatable thanks to the Hydrant. That activatable card will be the Alert, search in our deck for the Preventer. Preventer, banish from Engrave, come forth and summon 8200 damage right after the Artifact Lancet, completely shutting off their turn. Thus, Ovi has greatly increased his chance of making it into the top 4. With that Game 1 victory, let's go. Full loss in the draw phase. Let's Dormouse, banish from the deck, our Chessie Cat, trigger the Chessie, come forth, banish from the hand, nothing as it is the effect to banish. Actually, I will because I'm going to cross out Designate, negate the Ash Blossomate. Let's add another Full Loss into the fray. And just like that, under the effect of double Fua, what do we do? Any summon from the deck or extra deck will result in drawing 2. Tua. Let's draw 2 with our Chessie, add back with the March Hare. Let's further commit by summoning from the hand, which will not result in a draw. Reborn the White Rabbit again. I think it's worth summoning. They will draw 2, but do it. Whoa, 4 Quadra Apollo USA. That was insane. This gets hard punished by a single Imperm, as we have no other disruption beyond the Quadra Disrupt. Pirellia. If you'd want to summon a March Hare or a Bestial, I will now be drawing. We're now going to make a play that gets hit by a Bestial, not the Lurry itself. We can negate the Lurry. Negate. We have no battle protection for the Apollo. Normally you'd have a Maliss in Underground with the Maliss Link, forcing them to attack into the Maliss monster Link if they want to attack. We're going to negate the Hydrant. 2 more negates on the Apollo. Engraver is going to attempt to search for the Tract, which we allow that. But the Engraver trying to Reborn, that cannot be allowed. We must negate. And now the Lurry with the Tract can be searched for and discarded if we didn't already activate it, which we did. We're going to link this off into an Anima to eat up. The final negate is gone, mate. Can Ovi make additional plays beyond this? This is it. Flame on. Diablo Star is going to be discarding a card to summon and set an original Symphoon to the back rows. We're going to send the Anima to summon for the deck a Snake Eye Ash, Ash on summon, search our deck for a Poplar. Poplar special summon itself onto the field into a Moon at the closed heaven, and that will trigger the Poplar to put itself into the back row. Ash will send Poplar and itself to summon for the deck into a Flameburge as we link off into a Requiem with the Moon. Requiem activate the summon from the deck into the Engraver, equip onto the Engraver with the Requiem, send away the Apollo even though it's 0 attack. Further go into a Fiendsmith sequence. Flameburst trigger, reborn 2 level 1 fires as the sequence further fuses of the graveyard into a Fiendsmith. Lacrima activates to reborn from engrave our Engraver. MTP activates searching for the March Hare, which is only activatable in the main phase. This is our last moment if they're choosing to enter the battle phase, which they are. So we're going to March Hare at the end of the main phase, banish away the White Rabbit. We're under the effect of Pirellia. They just drew into a Call to the Grave as the White Rabbit now sets on the deck a GWC. Let's further commit within main phase 1 into our Nightmare Phoenix. Discard away the Call by the Grave. Attempt to pop the GWC as we burn for 1200 with the Lacrima. Chain the GWC to banish away the March Hare. Reborn back onto the field the Chessie Cat as we add back to the hand our March Hare. We're going to further commit into a Promethean Princess. We're going to now reborn back onto the field our Flameburst. Flameburst activate to push the White Rabbit into the back row. Snake Eye Ash big enough to take out the Maliss monster as we lethal damage with Promethean Princess. Damn. That's a 2-0 for the non-Maliss, non-Ryzeal. Let's go. Right away, we're going to be activating our Mulcharmy Pirellia, drawn per summon from the hand. Tract add Lurry. Lurry reborn from the grave, which is safe from both of the Mulcharmies here. We need to rescue our Turbulence. And now with the Turbulence on the field, our forms of disruption are the ability to flip a monster face down, the ability to contain and negate a monster. We could also extinguish by popping a monster. We could also pop with the effect of our Promethean Princess on special summon, about 4 forms of disruption. Send aggregates to negate nothing worthwhile. The Turbulence is kind of okay to negate because it does have the additional effect if you destroy another card to then destroy a card in the field. We're going to contain the Ryzeal. Now, contain normally has the additional ability of you now can't exceed with that monster that is negated, but that's only if you control the Hydrant, which we do not. Not good for Ovi. Bonfire searching for the Ice Ryzeal. We did not commit to the normal summon yet until now. Ice summon from the deck. Our Sword Ryzeal. Sword search for another ice as we exceed into a Ryzeal Detonator. Detonator has destruction protection from the Promethean and from the Extinguish, but it can only protect once. So do we try to pop it twice? We're going to chain Detonator, detach to pop the Extinguish, as we're going to, I guess, double. No, we're not going to double pop you. We're going to pop the Sword now. Detach again, take out the Alert. And we still have the ability, or we had potentially, I guess we don't have a way to flip a monster face down. Well, we can. We could, no, we can't. If we summon Preventer and send the Turbulence, Preventer needs another Rescue Ace in order to flip a monster face down. So we actually do not have that, unfortunately. Take control of the Promethean Princess to reborn a fire monster in Ryzeal, which is our Sword Ryzeal. How the heck did that happen? We're further exceeding under the restriction of you cannot summon except fire monsters. While Duo Drive is a fire, we are a fire deck somehow, as we're searching for a Cross and Node Ryzeal. Node could special summon while we control the Promethean Princess. What is even this downside? We're gonna send Promethean to target a fire to reborn back onto the field, further going into the Ryzeal detonator. Damn, we should just legit play Promethean at this point. Let's take, for obvious reasons, we do not. Raging Phoenix will trigger off of a monster being destroyed to summon itself onto the field, but not as a form of disruption. We just negate it anyway because we want to get another attack in. Let's detach off of the detonator in main phase 2, send into the back row our plugin. What do we have? We have Ash, Pop, Pop, and we can Xyz summon with the plugin plus the Plasma Hole play. Plasma Hole will be the way, so at least this could maybe be a Baguska if we want to. I hope we see something cool with this. I really want to see it. Show me. Make this exciting with Ryzeal. Earn your win. Emergency, summon Hydrant, send Hydrant to show you that I'm in big trouble. We're going to use the emergency to set a contain as the plugin reborns the X Ryzeal, and we now have the ability with Plasma Hole, whenever we want, we can Xyz into a Baguska. But there just isn't a good opportunity, unfortunately, to do so. Could have maybe made a Tornado Dragon to pop a back row in the end phase. Star Leech Photon Dragon will protect us from being targeted. Let's return 2 cards engraved to the bottom of the deck, draw 1, do a drive, detach off the Star Leech 2, search for 2 cards, summon the ice, summon the sword with the ice, searching for an Ice Ryzeal. To battle we go. We do have the Plasma Hole, activatable if needed. If you were to block our lethal attack, we'll just Xyz around that as we take a game 1 victory. Damn. Game 2. We are dealing with a Pirellia. You what, mate? Pirellia's everywhere because it does well against Ryzeal. We could pop, we could negate 3 monster effects in addition to that. We could pop with a Promethean on a special summon, 6 forms of disruption. Summon the X Ryzeal, dumping the aggregator, chain link blocking with the X so that the Apollo cannot negate the aggregator. Thus we negate the search instead. We are gonna lose from 6 disruption. We're now down to 3 thanks to the aggregator knocking off 2 as the 3rd negated the X Ryzeal. Contain the Sword Ryzeal. Now, this is immense. We're not just negating. It also cannot attack, but more importantly, cannot be used for the extra deck. We can't Xyz off of this. We have Extinguish and Promethean Princess. Let's search for the ice for the bonfire. Normal the ice, summon from the deck into the star, trigger the Promethean Princess to pop the Raging Phoenix and the star. Fingered our Promethean. We're now left with just Extinguish. You can't extinguish a detonator if you want to save it for that because it has destruction protection. What do you do with 1 extinguish? I think we lose. This is it. Can't get rid of detonator with that, as I said. Oh boy, not like this. Do we pop Dugaris before it activates? Ovi is, I think, giving up maybe. Not that he really has an opportunity to do anything worthwhile. Extinguish! Oh, okay, that didn't work. Lethal damage. Damn. They could destroy, but you can't. It's fair. Something's wrong here. No Maliss in the grand finale for this meta weekly. It's possibly going to be Ryzeal versus Centurion or Ryzeal versus Ryzeal. We had 4 meta weeklies in a row of Ryzeal versus Maliss, and that streak is now gone. Pirellias are everywhere in everyone's deck. It is so popular. We have the stand-up Centurion ready to drop her summon from the hand. We're going to put a Primera into the back row. There is no Mulcharmy. That gives a draw for summoning from the back row. They have almost every other base covered, from the Banish, the Grave, the deck, the hand, the extra deck. They forgot the back row. Trudea into the back row plus the Gargoyle, summon the Gargoyle as we now send it for our Bestial Lubellion. Bestial Lubel is going to set up our Regained. What are our disruptions here? If we consider the banishes as disruptions, we could really overinflate it. I'll add it at the end. Otherwise, our main disruptions are going to be an imperm plus a synchro summon. And then if we want to count the Bystials, it would be a banish, Jerusalem of Sense of the Grave for Baldrake effect would be Ascend, Baldrake banishing a monster summon for the extra deck, which is a real disruption, it'd be up to 6. So in reality, it's about 3 disruptions, but up to 6 if you want to inflate the banish effects in Druid Swarm. Send the aggregator for the X Ryzeal, aggregate, negate, defield. Man, that really makes Centurion a bad deck. I can't believe it. Thankfully, we still have a proper synchro summon on the field, but X and aggregate on field spell negate, that would make me not want to touch this deck. Let's summon Sword. As the Legatia pops away our monster, with the Sword alongside that, we have the normal summon Ice Ryzeal, Imperm, negate, Baldrake, banish away. We're setting up the Baldrake to banish an Xyz summon. Whatever you summon. It could be a detonator, we could banish it. Are you ready? This is it. Regained, maybe draws into it just drew into an Ash. That is crazy. Exciton Knight. If we have less cards than the opponent, we have 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We now can non-target destroy the entire field. It's destroy, not send like Zeus. Wipe the field. And we also get banished. We also don't deal damage, but they lost their whole field. So let's make a good field. We have the finger for the Ash. Let's make our Duo Drive on summon, attach a monster in grave, detach 2. I don't think so. Ash, or I don't think so to you. No, you. Negate with the finger the Ash. Let's resolve our search 2. We already committed to a normal summon. Ice is not going to come out. We have Plasma Hole and Cross. Cross, return 2 cards in grave back to the bottom, draw into a Fualos. We have negate plus pop a card on the field. Mate, double disruption. Is that going to be enough to stop Centurion? Plasma Hole, pop in the Primera's attempt to summon from the back row. Not today. We still have a monster effect negate with the Duo Drive. A try on summon is drawing a card. We did not negate. You're trying to summon the Druid Swarm, which could then go into level 10 Synchro. Let's deny that. Elfon is here. Plan L for lose. We cannot normal or special summon for the rest of this turn. 2,900 damage after returning the Duo Drive back into the extra as we set up Metaltronus. Metaltronus can negate any monster, or if it's a detonator, banish it face down in addition to negating. Cross, return 2, draw 1, normal the Ice summon for the deck a Sword Ryzeal, Sword searching for an X Ryzeal, send from the extra deck to summon the X Ryzeal to search for the node. As we now seize this up into the detonator. Detonator cannot activate while there is a Typhon on the field. To battle we go. On the attack, Metaltronus, we are going to summon our own detonator. You can't chain to this, even if there wasn't a Typhon, banishing it face down. Plasma Hole is going to exceed within the battle phase into a Duo Drive. Duo Drive is not big enough. It is at 28. Oh, it is. It reduced. Okay. Plus 300 and reduced by 300 as we now grab a Star Ryzeal and Ice Ryzeal within main phase 2. Detach to summon the Star Ryzeal set from the deck, a plugin which cannot touch the face down banished detonator, but that's okay. We have another copy. And the TCG detonator is limited to 1. We're going to attach the aggregator. We're going to Druid Swarm, banish it in the end phase. We have Nibiru. We have pop, and negate. And we have another pop or negate. 6 disruption, now down to 5 disruption. We're going to attempt to send the detonator, which for funny reasons, even though we don't negate the activation, we don't even activate, we can negate within the damage step. Mate, not today. Say goodbye to the Druid Swarm. No chain block, no damage step to dodge. Nope. There are some restrictions they forgot to put on some cards. Maybe the Plasma Hole should not be activated with the same turn it's sent to the grave. Just small stuff. That's not a big reason why the deck is good, obviously. It's just all these little things add up. Perelia. Didn't we do that in the last duel? Perelia again? We're going to discard with the stand-up, put a Trude into the back row, summon, and then activate the effect to put a Primera into the back row plus itself. We're going to negate. Well, off of that, we're going to set Imperm in pass. What we could do is summon Druiswarm if there's something to banish, which we can consider that as a form of disruption, possibly. And then we could synchro with the field spell to go into a Chaos Angel, which will banish a card in the field. We also have the Imperm negate. We have Ash negate. About 4 forms of disruption, maybe the Druiswarm secondary effect being a 5th disruption, but it's most likely just going to be 4 or 3 to 4. Ash negate the Ice Ryzeal. Negate. We don't have a way to get the Druiswarm out, and Trudea's got a huge D. What the heck, 2,000? I didn't know it was that large. Let's summon our Primera, that is, after putting Trudea in the back row for it, as we're gonna cross out Designate, negate the Ash. Nicky Boy surrendering to a cross-out Designator. Wow. Ryzeal bending the knee to Centurion. We have our 1-card starter, 7th Tachyon. Ash can negate, and it will mate, but we could now triple Tactics Talent attempt to draw 2. We have about 11 other 1-card starters, but at least 2 of them are no good, so we have about 9. 9 cards. Oh, we got the Bonfire. Bonfire was one of the 9 1-card starters left. As we X Ryzeal, let's just speed this up. What do we have here? We have a negate, an Imperm negate, a pop mate, triple disruption. That Imperm did stop a detonator from being summoned. So you could argue that was actually a good use of impermanence. Triple disrupt. We don't have a plugin to perform an Exceed summon during the opponent's turn. What's the ruling on this? Let's read this. Does this even work? Do I still get my Primera in the back row? Judge, I'm friends with the judge. He says yes, but how does it actually work? It says that you can place this card you control and a Centurion from your deck, hand or deck, accept this. So the judge says yes, but they are wrong because both have to happen at the same time. If you don't also get Trudea in the back row, you do not get the Primera in the back row. This does stop it. You could safely pop it. You don't have to imperm it. Nicely done. Let's Emblema Oath into the back row, our Atrai. Atrai is going to attempt to draw a card here. Come forth. 1, 2, you think so? Activate. Upstart Goblin Mate into a Baldrake. Banish from Engraved Nothing because we're going to negate with the Ryzeal Cross. To battle phase we go. Atrai is big enough to take out that node. With still an Imperm left, we now on Plu's turn, Plu's non-turn that is, we have a Veiler, a Baldrake Banish, and a Baldrake Tribute to banish a monster from the extra deck. Now, does Baldrake target? Let's read that because there's a Star Liege. Your opponent summons, you're going to tribute, and then you're going to target, but you can't target because the Star Liege, so the Baldrake is screwed. Veiler negates the Sword Ryzeal, and even if the Baldrake were able to banish a monster from the extra deck, we do have the impermanence. We do have Cross. Let's Baldrake attempt to banish, get itself out onto the field here. Cross says no, and he surrenders. No! That is the end for Centurion. Ryzeal versus Ryzeal. You up, mate? Where's Maliss? Well, look at these Lancias. That's what happened to Maliss. Maliss went away because this skips their entire turn. Let's speed this up. Kawaki refuses to play into that. Nah. You Baguska me turn 1. Okay. Congrats on your win. I'll do it to you game 2. Now, technically, it's fair. It's still fair game 1, but it's more fair game 2 because you saw game 1. You now know they're obviously playing it. Nicky Boy, are you gonna return the... Wait, it's the finale. You weren't allowed to surrender. Didn't he surrender? Or no, he passed. Okay, he passed. Okay, we're good. He's making plays. No way. He didn't target Baguska because it's untargetable. What the hell? As we Detonator, you're stuck in defense. So to be clear, Bagooska forces non-links into defense. Bagooska can't be targeted because of the Star Liege. Bagooska can't be destroyed by card effect because of the Star Liege. And Ryzeal doesn't play Little Knight. Oh, Little Knight is the main out, but then even if you could play Little Knight, it can't be targeted. So the Codebreaker is an option to attack into Bagooska and then get destroyed by the Plasma Hole. Well, I'm gonna Bagooska the Bagooska, but your Bagooska is not protected like mine. Actually, it is, because it cannot be destroyed due to the effect of the detonator. Mate, detach, not today. Imperm is not protected from being targeted, that is, but protected from destruction. Now, protecting this is going to be useless because we have no effect on it. Kawaki, vanish him. So cheesy. Bagooska, there's no chance of this card getting banned. It can't happen. Castell, say goodbye to the detonator. I want it to be understood that it is not optimal to turn one summon a Bagooska. It is only optimal if you know what your opponent's playing. So if you want to play Triple Tactics Talent in your deck, and they allow you to now look at their hand, you could then make that better turn one play, and that could be a reason why you'd want to play a card like Triple Tactics Talent. Lethal damage. All right, can I Bagooska turn one? Whoa! Nicky Boy did not Bagooska turn one. Big mistake. What was he thinking? We have cross out designate. That's cheating. Wow. Negate Imperm before it even activated because there could be two Imperms in the back row. What the hell? Ash, negate, Ice, Ryzeal, mate. So you'd think like, well, how would you never ever want to wait? For the reason I just said, you would Imperm, they chain cross out, you then chain the other Imperm. Triple Tactics Talent. I don't have to look at your hand. I know what you're playing. We're going to max C on the resolution. Do we commit to lethal damage under the effect of max C? We know confidently that entire back row is negated. So it should, ooh, we are committing. Special summon the Sword Ryzeal. How much more damage are we willing to put out? Duo Drive is here. Draw again. Pirellia not activatable because we set cards on the field. Summon from the hand. Called by the Grave Dead. Lancia is coping big time. That does nothing. 8,500 damage. Lethal damage. Oh, Imperm. Negate. From the crossout designate. Nicely done. We did not go back to back to back Bagooska. No Bagooska for game 3. Nicky Boy decided to take it easy on Kawaki. Well done to both of you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Top deck list of the Meta Weekly. Maliss and Ryzeal are the top 2 decks, of course. No one saw that coming. As you click on tier limits, Melito with a whopping 60 card deck out of this world. We have some Unchained up in here. Very cool. And then here is the extra deck. Good job to you. And now we have White Forest Azamina, another 60 card deck. Holy moly, Slayton, good job to you. Also playing some Eldritch. Here are the extra deck cards. And then Dragon Link. Like, the only viable non-Maliss Ryzeal decks are just 60 card decks? I can't even believe this. What is going on? Good job, Virus. There is the extra deck. And then a 44 card deck, more normal. Funkinator. 44 cards. There is the extra deck. And then Centurion. 40 cards, Plu. Good job to you. Very nice. And then Snake Eye Rescue Ace. Ovi Doog. Almost 60 cards. Rescue Ace in it up. There's the extra deck. We got some Chorozo action. And then Ryzeal and Maliss. We're just going to be driving by this. There's probably nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary here. Nope, looking standard. Main deck and triple Lancia. Matral. We have Ghost Bell up in here. Also double Pirellia. Here's the extra deck and the main deck for Dare Evil. we are playing Small World plus 7 Tachyon instead of the 7th Ascension. So when the 7th Tachyon gets negated, instead of having a 7th Ascension searching for another 7th Tachyon, which we saw at Worlds, I think I even saw it in today's event, we instead just have an additional search. It makes sense. So Daredevil, nicely done. Especially if people are negating this. That definitely makes sense if they're negating this, which they are. Nicky Boy with the 7th Ascension into the Tachyon. We got some Pirellia in the main deck, which not only good for the mirror match, but also good with your cross out to negate. And then Kawaki winning it all with triple Pirellia. Yup, Pirellia stocks are up. You got to be playing Pirellia. And then Maliss. Maliss, what's going up with Maliss is the usage of Allure because people have taken Lancia out of their deck. And thank you very much for that, because Allure does help make the deck even better when it's actually activatable. Good job, Hipster. You have Morpho, Lightning Storm in the main deck with evenly matched 2 different board breakers. That's wild. You have Lancia also here. Joe with the main deck. Shifter, double, Allure of Darkness, or Triple Tactics, and Nibiru. And then we have Yusef, double Allure of Darkness. We are on the Terahertz, nicely done. What else do we have? Lucas is on double Lancia, 1 Nibiru, double Droll, and Lockbird. Well done to all the players. Thank you very much. What's the tier list looking like? Pretty much the same. Tier 3 is White Force surprisingly jumping up there. You know, this is going to be really random. The meta is pretty much just Ryzeal and Maliss. Everyone knows it, you know it, I know it. And there you go. That's the Meta Weekly, where we are hoping for a really good ban list to change this dreaded meta. Konami, please